What's going on? Life is full of possibilities, I guess. And welcome to our piece of paradise. Gary, can you hear okay? Because it's kind of loud in here, so just checking if you can hear what I'm saying. Let me know if you can hear this okay. Someone. Yep. Sound is okay? Okay, we need to think of a number. What's a good number for now? So we're at 59 right now. Give me a number. Give me a number when we can start this. $61. Come on, people. Just spam everyone. Share this. You know, Captain Club Race. He's always good. Always bumps our views when we go there. I think there's a lag. No one's given me a number yet. Give me a number. What's the number we start? Needs a cowboy hat for this place. No cowboy hats. So anyway, so after Neo, 69. No. We're already at 69. We need a bigger number. Let's go for 100. Liam, start sharing, okay? Where's Keenan? Keenan needs to get everyone at PMB. Everyone at PMB to watch this. So we attended Neo, 420. Winston doesn't want this to happen. 77. No, we're gonna get 100. I'm feeling good about this. I'm confident. Yeah, so we did Neo Buggy, and then after that, I decided beforehand, I had planned this out. I was gonna move to Spain. So I drove to the south of Spain, and now I'm staying here for the whole of April, actually. So I rented a place on Airbnb, $30 a night, and it's really nice. I have a swimming pool and everything, but it's a bit cold, so I haven't been swimming, but yeah, 86, we're getting there. Did you share to Captain Club Race's boss? You know, she normally gets us a ton of views also. Send her, post it on her wall. 703, that's a good one. Someone's optimistic. So anyway, I'm here in the south of Spain. I'm gonna be practicing and testing. And then there's no distractions here, except this paradise place here. So it's good, I can work on designing and work on the company, and it's really good. I'm enjoying my time so far. So we only need 3 more people and we can start. Oh, we need 4 more. Captain Club Race left. For fuck's sake, can you just, spam a bit more? Get some more people online. More graphics. How do I say in Italian? Spam people with this video. We're so close. Just 5 more people and we can start. How does one get sponsored by JQ? If you get 3 more people online, I'll tell you. Oh my God. Four more people. Can you please, someone ask your mother to watch this? Okay? Look, we have a special guest online here. He's gonna be here when we get 1 more guy. Oh yeah, there we go. 102. Okay. So guess who's with me here? Whoever guesses right is gonna win a special prize. Someone, you know what? His phone is much faster than mine. Like, Mine is all lagged out. Someone guessed right already, I think. Yeah? I didn't even see it. Captain Club Race. That was a good one. Barry, you win. David, but David who? David who? Ah, fuck it. Yeah, David's here.
What's up, guys?
Well, we're gonna have to be real close for this one.
Yes. In paradise.
Okay, so David and I are here in paradise.
It's pretty good.
And we were thinking we'd do a bit of a Q&A. So maybe we start with some DNC talk and Neo talk, and then we'll get some questions from you. So think about your questions right now. I have a few I want to ask first, and then it's your turn. Okay. So first, David, DNC.
All right.
So finally, you won the Nitro Buggy class.
Yeah.
First European to do that.
First European, yeah, in the Nitro Buggy. I mean, I had the e-buggy title before, and also the Truggy title, but I guess those doesn't count as
No,
much,
those don't count. No one cares about e-buggy or Truggy.
Yeah.
Only Nitro Buggy.
Yeah, so it was pretty nice to get that one finally. I've been close a lot of times, but yeah, finally everything came together, and yeah, we were able to pull it off, even if it came down to last lap finish. Robert closed behind. I was able to keep him behind me around the last corner, even though I got a bit squirrely.
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing. I've noticed this is the thing with you. So at the Worlds, you almost blew it. You clipped the pipe,
such a big
landed on the pipe. It's like, imagine if a nail or something flamed out your car on the pipe. Oh my God.
Yeah, but then, I don't think about that stuff when I'm driving. Yeah, like now afterwards, watching the video, yeah, I can understand what could have happened.
Yeah,
that would have been a
now
disaster.
DNC also, you clipped the pipe and you were all sideways.
No, it was actually
finishing.
the bump that made me clip the pipe. So I hit the bump before that sent my rear into the pipe.
But then you clipped the pipe.
I clipped the pipe, yeah.
And then wasn't there some other one of the Euros? One of the Euros, I think you did the same thing. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, 2012, I led for 43 minutes before losing
No,
it
not
to
that
Bloomfield.
one.
Savoia was close in 2013.
Yeah, maybe.
I rolled it with 3-4 laps to go, I think. I rolled it on the roof.
So what is it? Like that last corner, why can't you just slow down a bit more and just finish safe?
I think that's the problem, honestly. I think I'm just too safe. Yeah.
Right. So you should just punch it.
Yeah, kind of. Just stay in what I've done like the past 43 or 58 minutes of the main.
So you try and play it safe and then you make a mistake.
Yeah, because I either changed my line or something, and that's why I keep messing it up. But yeah, so far it's worked out better.
Rains, says,
more times.
Bertin says rains.
Yeah, it rains, yeah.
Yeah. You almost messed that up.
I think it was 7/10 in over the loop from me and Reno.
So it's your thing. You like to win like with a small margin.
Yeah, I mean I like to win the way I did in Vegas as well. That was kind of a nice main to have. Such a big gap for a long time. I could just like pace myself with the others. But yeah, I mean it. Even though of course this was a Worlds and it felt awesome. You know, this is my biggest win by far. When you have those close fights, it's also such a good feeling to be able to come out on top. But it's even worse if you lose it. So it's both. I mean, it's kind of. Of course, I would like to have a bigger gap on the last lap than being so close. But yeah, winning by those small margins, indeed, it feels very good.
Yeah. So isn't it ironic you were racing Robert there, because I believe you'll be racing Robert a lot this year. Now living in Spain and doing the Spanish Nationals.
Yeah, I think I calculated just quickly here before. I'm going to race Robert like between 10 and 15 times probably this year. Which is also good because I see Robert as a very strong contender and competitor for the Worlds in any race I go to. So be able to practice, you know, racing close against him, it will improve my driving as well.
So it's 1-1 now. You won DNC and he beat you now.
Yeah, but he also got Montpellier over me.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So it's 2-1 right now. But I'll get that. I'll get that next week at the Spanish Nuts. I promise you that. I promise.
You know what? If Spanish Federation is watching, please let me race.
Oh yeah, you can go, right?
I've sent them a letter. I'm like, so can I race? I have a license. Everything's good. Last time I tried, they called the cops on me. But David's here now, and they're gonna allow him to race. So why can't I race? You know, double standard.
I'm world champ.
Double standard. World champions can race.
Yeah, no
But
problem.
actually, you know, the Portuguese guys are there too. So
Yeah, the Portuguese brothers, as they always say, I guess.
yeah, so I should be allowed too. We need to make some shirts. Anthony Westergaard showed me. He's like, when J-Law was banned and when James Stewart was banned, they made shirts that said, let J-Law race or let James race. So we have to make let JQ race shirts.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe for
Maybe
DNC
something.
too.
Yeah. So who's the one that doesn't want you to race anyway?
In Spain?
Yeah. Is
You-
it Carlos or is it
No,
somebody
Carlos
else,
is
or-
okay. Carlos
Yeah.
is on my side. But Pineda is probably gonna, you
I
know.
see. That thing with Wulanka at the World Euros and
Yeah,
Max as well,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I don't race, it's his fault. But let's see. Hashtag free JQ. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. Hashtag JQ Racing Matters. Exactly. So, you won the race. What do you qualify? I can't remember now.
I wasn't a TQ run in the last qualifier till some fellow European guy decided to.
CTO you?
Well, I mean, I pushed wide, so maybe I shouldn't blame him. But the thing that the announcer called me in TQ pace right before this happened, I think he should be a bit more cautious because he almost took me out in the corner
who
before.
was that?
as well. It was Alex Anquetin.
Oh, but that's normal.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I lined up fourth in the end, so it wasn't too bad. I already had
Okay.
2 pretty good ones, first qualifier and second round.
So, for the main, did you make any changes to the car, the setup, the tires? What tires did you run? What was your strategy for the main?
No, it was pretty much the same as the third qualifier. I would say the conditions are always very close in the night qualifier to what you're gonna face in the main. So we knew conditions were gonna be very similar. Maybe the track would be more broken up or something like this. But yeah, we kept the car for the same after Q3 until the main day. And I felt in main practice that yeah, the car felt good. That was obviously in the middle of the day, so I was on a blue compound tire. So that was the only thing we did for the main during night. We dropped down to the green compound.
So that's the super soft?
Yeah, that's J Concept Super Soft tire.
Triple Ds or what did you run?
I ran the Stalker, the new Stalker.
Stalker?
Yeah.
Okay, the new one?
In the Truggy, I decided to follow like the Americans a little bit, like Mayfield and those guys. They went with the softer compound, but on our car it didn't really work out the same as the harder compound. Maybe our car creates more traction, or it feels kind of stuck in the middle of the corner sometimes. So we need a harder compound normally on our car. So I was always on blue in qualifying, felt really good. Decided to go green in the main, but yeah, I didn't really have the pace in the beginning, as well as I made some crashes, so that put me down early on. But yeah, when the guys came up to lap me in Truggy, I could pretty much follow in their pace the last half of the race. So that was, yeah, just a bad start. Maybe wrong tire choice, who knows. But for the buggy, we seemed fine with the green. Also, we used a different thread. Truggy was triple Ds and yeah, Stalkers for the buggy. So, but not much changes from qualifying to.
No setup changes on the
No.
buggy?
We worked really hard during Truggy and e-buggy qualifying day to find the good balance of the buggy, especially. Kind of struggling a little bit in the beginning throughout practice, but yeah, round 2, round 3 of e-buggy, I started feeling very comfortable on track, and we basically just put whatever we found there on the nitro buggy.
Do you normally make a lot of changes? I've kind of noticed that you seem to make a lot of changes on your cars. So what kind of changes do you make?
Well, it also depends on the conditions. I would say, yeah, sometimes obviously we have to look for something like radical. Then we're gonna make a big change, probably a couple of changes at the same time.
Like what kind of things? What do you change those?
It could be diff oil, choke package.
Like pistons?
Yeah,
oil springs,
pistons, 5-hole or 6-hole.
positions?
Yeah, a little bit shock positions, not that much though. Basically only up in the towers. Then we work a little bit also with the rear roll sensor, anti-squat, and the upper link in the back.
And what about CVDs and universals? You changed that?
Yeah,
also?
I mean, I've always have CVDs as my favorite, but everybody keeps telling me every time I use universals, I win.
Yeah?
In Vegas, I used the universals, I won. DNC universals. I won. Neo buggy, I started out with CVDs. But yeah, after we saw the pace of the e-buggy in the main for the semi, we put the universals on the nitro as well. And
so what do you think the difference is there?
I always felt like the CVDs keep the car more flat, less roll, and it feels like you have more drive. But the universals definitely works better in the bumpy conditions.
Right.
Maybe also in high bike conditions that the universal would free up the car around the corners, I would say.
Okay.
Where the CVDs might feel a little stiff. And yeah, that's probably the main difference between the two.
Okay, so one more question about DNC. So in the end, Robert was coming really fast, and did you see him catching you, and what were you thinking at that point? Like, what was your plan?
I mean, it was basically only three guys up front for the most part of the first. Was it a 45-minute? Yeah, it was 45. So let's say
so,
first
yeah.
30 minutes. First 30 minutes, it was basically me, Mayfield, and Tessmans going at it in the front. We changed positions, I mean, multiple times, many times, back and forth. And yeah, Robert had good speed, but us changing the position so much also made it easier for him to catch up, of course. I mean, we made some small mistakes, small errors here and there, and yeah, we went back and forth, as I said, and that makes you lose time. So he had a clean race. Of course, he was fast, so he was able to catch up pretty quick towards the end. And I think for the last pit, I pitted like a lap before Robert and Mayfield. So when I pitted, I was like probably 4 seconds behind. So I was behind them when they were supposed to go in for that last pit stop. So I knew I was going to be in front unless I messed up that front section. But they were going to be really close behind me. But then like right before you had that floater before the step up on the left side of the coming before the loop, before the pit lane basically. And both Mayfield and Robert crashed over that floater. So basically when they went into pit, I was right there, which means I knew that I was going to have like a 5-second gap when they came out the pit. And it was a rough track, you know, it was very difficult out there, but I knew as long as I would keep my car on the wheels, I felt the speed on my car in the main, so as long as the car was on the wheels, it would be hard for them to catch up. And also Robert and Mayfield being pretty close, maybe they would fight, you know, so I kind of wanted that to happen. Then I saw that Robert broke out from Mayfield. He pulled away a little bit. He was going for it, and I think it was with 2 minutes to go. I heard he has 3 seconds gap to me, and yeah, I knew it was basically 3 laps to go. And then that's when I started to step down a little bit. He closed in on me quite fast during the last lap, and especially as I made that mistake on the last corner, it came down being really close. I think if I wouldn't have made that mistake, it would still have been over 1.5 seconds, closer to 2, I would say.
Yeah.
So
you feel like you had it, but then the last couple of laps you were playing it safe too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see any reason to push because he was the one having to make the job. I still wanted to keep my car on the wheel so I couldn't lose the concentration, of course.
Yeah.
Which was probably what I did in the last corner. I just played it a little too safe. And that's also the risk when you drop it down a little bit. You take some margins, maybe you're gonna hit bumps that you didn't have to worry about before choosing your racing line or your perfect line around the track. So that's what happened in the last corner. That's why it came really close. But yeah, during the last 2 laps, I felt really good, and I knew unless something stupid was gonna happen, some rock was gonna pop up in front of my car, I would pretty much have that win in the bag.
Nice.
Yes.
So I saw a couple of questions.
I forgot to look.
Yeah, I was looking. But first, someone just asked about the Black Edition radio tray. If we're gonna change it to hide the wires, we're not gonna. Yeah, we're not gonna do that because the idea with the radio tray on the JQ car is that it's really easy to change a servo or a receiver. So sometimes at a race, you'll have a problem before a main, and then you can ask for more time to fix the problem.
Christopher Svensson.
Svensson, are you back in RC? So anyway, so let's say you're in the warm-up of a main and you break a servo, right? So with the JQ radio tray, you can change it in the warm-up and still make the race, because you can just, you take the servo horn off, then the 4 screws for the servo, 2 screws to open the receiver box, and you can pull the servo up from the top. So if you hide the wires, it's going to be more difficult to do, and it's going to be more screws and harder to do, not as fast, not as easy. So yes, you can see the wires, but it's not a big deal, because it's a lifesaver in those situations where you break something and you have to change something quickly. So I saw 2 questions. One was about the world. Someone asked that, what are your concerns, or like the biggest concerns for the worlds? Like, what's on your mind for the world? So we have the race is super long again. They added some practice days, and then they water the track, and I don't know what else. Are there some kind of concerns?
Watering the track will never be as consistent. I would say that if you leave it dry, of course the track is going to develop a little bit, but I mean, we already faced those conditions in Vegas. During the first day, it was very inconsistent. I even wrote a post about that. I know it got a lot of attention when I did. Luckily, I came back and showed them when they picked up the skill with the watering again. It made it more consistent throughout the 2 last days of qualifying, and I was able to score good points in those 4 rounds. I'm not too much worried about. I mean, normally I just go out there and I just drive in whatever conditions I have to face. There's already a lot of things to think about. So if you have to worry about what the organizers are doing and all that kind of stuff, it just you're gonna have too many things in the end to keep in your mind.
What do you think about the long schedule, like the three extra days of practice, or however many it is? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. Normally the reason why they do that is because of the warm-up race, right? But I know there's a race which I'm going to in May. I know they call it the Australian Nationals, but they say also like / World's warm-up. So there is a race that you can attend. Looks like anybody can attend that race, and if you have that race, I don't know why they would put the schedule longer.
But my opinion is that even if there was no warm-up, nothing changes, because any race we go to, like let's say it rains on practice day, we have no practice, then we go straight into qualifying and we have mains, or we have 1 week of practice, qualifying and mains. The results are going to be the same. The same drivers are going to be in the top, and it's like nothing changes. So why have so many days of practice? That's my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. No matter how many practice rounds you're gonna have, it's always gonna be the same guys on top.
Right. So
pro guys are gonna be there. I mean, Neo Buggy, like in Halbert Adams, used to have 3 rounds, I think. 3 rounds. It's not. I mean, that's already like quite a lot of practice, I would say.
3 rounds of practice.
It's a good amount of rounds, and then into qualifying, we had 6 rounds maybe. That's even a lot of qualifying. So you have a lot of track time before the mains. So you definitely have time to set up the car, and I think for sure that, because I don't know, is it the same amount of days that they had in Sicily? I guess so.
I think so. Adrian is saying to enjoy the track. My thing with practice is like, I can practice anywhere. When I go to a race, I want to race. So then I have to spend just time practicing and qualifying, and then I get to race like for 20 minutes, or 30 minutes, unless I bump, and then I get to race the main. It's like, you're there that whole time, and then at the very end you get to race. It's like, can't we race more?
I guess that's what kind of a reader race format is for. You're always racing when you're on track, and definitely I would say Sicily was a long race. Like, when you like walked around the pit, everybody was kind of saying after practice days over, like, oh shit, the race didn't even start yet.
Right. So, and they felt like it was done. At least I did. I'm like, I'm done with this.
And I felt like I was done as well. I was on top after practice there. I could have gone home. Done.
Exactly.
Then it went, not so good in the end, but it's too many days, I would say.
Your dad is saying it's a good way to learn the practice routine. I mean, the watering routine. Practice is a good way to learn the watering routine.
Yeah. Yeah, but then again, you know, if you have different guys watering the track, they will for sure not water the same amount.
Yeah, like the Vegas Worlds, they had a big issue where the track would obviously be different depending on how they watered, but also morning to daytime. So there was actually a Finnish guy in one of the heats who got fourth in a round. So this is the World Championships, right? And this guy was qualifying, what, 50th? About, I guess. Then one round he got fourth overall. Because he was in a round that benefited from the watering schedule and the track conditions. So it's just such bullshit, really.
No, I think he
so
knew
unfair.
after practice he knew which heat to put himself into.
Yeah.
And that's when he scored. You know, when he
Yeah.
got a chance, he scored.
Yeah.
No, that for sure. That's also the case of me. Like for me, in the first day of qualifying in Vegas, I know either it was the first or second round. I had like pretty much a clean run, and I was placed like 22nd in that round with a pretty much clean run. And yeah, that was
Oh, you
pretty
had a
frustrating.
clean run, but you
Yeah.
were 22nd.
Yeah.
Right, because
That's
the
pretty
track was
frustrating,
slow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
that
I
the
was
same
I was
round
up
then?
in the first heat because
That
I
was
was
the
top
same.
seed.
That was the same round that this guy got fourth, I think.
Could be, yeah.
Because you all ran in the morning.
Yeah.
Like all the fast guys ran in the morning, and he ran late.
Yeah.
The track was fast.
Yeah, because I was first out like
Yeah.
Q1. I was first
Yeah.
out in the morning. Track
Yeah.
was green from the night.
Yeah.
They put a lot of water into it before the qualifying started, and it was really damp when I was on there. And even with a clean run, I only scored a 20th. So yeah, that's what you have to face when you have the watering. So I can understand watering practice. I don't care. Maybe it makes the track.
Servo grommets.
I don't care about servo grommets.
You don't use them?
No,
No?
never
Really?
did.
Why? Maybe that's why.
Yeah, but then at the same time, I never used it for this last probably 8 years, 9 years.
Really?
Yeah, never.
I never knew that. So you know the rubber grommets for the servos that let them kind of float a bit, so it kills the vibration a bit. David never uses those. Really?
Nope.
Why? Why wouldn't you use those?
So yeah, I never used
you
it.
should try
Never.
that. You should try those.
Why?
Why? So you fucking win races, you know, right?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll figure
see.
something out.
So there was another question. Someone was asking Neo defoils. What defoils did you run at Neo?
At Neo, I ended up running 10.52 in the main of both cars, both electric and nitro.
10.52. Is that kind of your standard setup, or it was different?
I would say my standard is normally with the JC tire. I've had to go up a little bit more in the center, so something like a 7.10.3 has been a good base before. Now we're starting to go down a little bit more because we found some stuff in the setup. So I would say around 7.52, 7.723,
Okay.
something around there.
So why are you going down now? What did you change about the setup?
No, it was also with the new tires coming out, the Stalker and the Cosmo. I feel like I have a lot more rotation in the center of the corner compared to like a Reflex, which is a bit more pushy. Detox, it needs to be very
Right.
clean, otherwise that tire is also pushy. So those times we had to go up in the center diff to make the car rotate. But
Okay.
yeah, now with the new tires, it seems like we have a lot more rotation, especially with the Stalkers.
Yeah.
The contact area is very flat,
Mm-hmm.
so it makes the car rotate very nicely around the corner.
Okay. So then I saw another question, which was when we had the Euros at Redavan, did you run AKA
Yeah.
at the time? Okay. So someone was asking to compare at the Euros track and Neo track. So Redavan, the AKA to the J Concept. Like, what tires did you run, and what's the difference? Do you know?
It was I was actually looking for the setup in my phone and computer, but I couldn't find it from the Euros. So, we kind of had a clue about what we used, but not the fully setup, of course. But the AK and the J Concept drives a little different. I said that the J Concept feels like it has more side bite, makes the car want to push a little bit more. AK is a bit more free on the side, maybe less side bite. So the car rotates nice like that. So I always use, for example, I always use a lot of toe-in with AK. But using a lot of toe-in on the J-Concept tires makes my car completely stuck in the middle of the corner. I don't get it to rotate.
Right.
So we always...
So you have more traction with the J-Concept.
Yeah, that's what I feel. And also it's hard...
What about flipping over? You have more grip, but it still doesn't want to flip over? Or?
No, it doesn't really want to flip over. I mean, we worked with the setup, of course, to make it perform good with the AC tires. And it feels like it took us probably half of last year to get it figured out. I mean, of course, we're still learning. It's only into my second year with J-Concepts with AK. I was with them since the start in 08. So I have a lot of experience with those tires. Still learning curve, but I'm really happy to be in the JC team. Jason is working hard. He's dedicated, passionate about the RC industry, and the whole team is working great together. And I think we have a thread in everything that suits any kind of conditions right now. So I'm feeling very comfortable.
Since we are on tires, I saw another question, which was if you could explain which compound and which tread you use in different kind of conditions. Like, for example, DNC, what tires and what compounds did you use?
Yeah, as I said there, during the day, it normally dries out way quicker than in the night, of course. So during the day, I would use like a blue compound, which is our soft. And I pretty much went with the stalkers all the time. Once we tried them, I had a really nice feeling, so I kept using them. Because we know they have a good wear, even though the wear is normally not an issue at the Nitro Challenge, because they water the track in the end during the night. But yeah, at Nitro Challenge I only worked with green and in blues. That was the super soft and the soft tire, so I never went R2.
And now at Neo?
At Neo, so it was two different races basically, before the rain and after the rain.
Yeah, so before was more, for the people who don't know, so before the rain the track was really abrasive, pretty like medium to high bite, I
Very
would say.
Close to the Euros, I would say.
Yeah, close to the Euros. It was starting to get rough, so a bit edgy in places and good grip. And then it rained, and then after that the surface became really polished, so it was super loose. So really loose, and the cars were sliding. So it was two different races in one. So before the rain,
that's the question we had before as well, comparing the Euro tracks to the Neo track.
Yeah.
Before the rain, it was very much alike, I would say. Very close. Grip level was about the same. Lap times were kind of around that same area as we ran at the Euros. Then after the rain, I think the lap times dropped like 5 seconds in the end.
Yeah, which is
because we were
crazy.
doing like 52s in the beginning of the week.
Yeah. And
during practice, and then
58s, I think.
Yeah,
50,
56 during the main, I think.
56
was a good lap during the main.
Yeah.
So like almost 5 seconds of drop in lap time. So that you can imagine how much less traction there were after the rain.
Yeah.
So from going, as you said, the track was abrasive. Kind of had a lot of tire wear. We were running the R2 compound. I was trying a few different ones. I liked the Stalker. I liked the Cosmos as well when I tried it, and that's what I basically told the guy Thomas from JC to bring. And then the rain came, and it's a whole different condition, whole different race. Setup and everything had to be changed. Traction dropped so much. So in the end, in the final, I ended up running the Super Soft, the green.
Okay, so Super Soft for a 60-minute final.
Yeah, it would have been close, but I would have had tire left.
And which one, Stalker?
Stalker again. Okay. I guess it's gonna be my favorite tire.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say. So I think the J-Concepts tires. Would you agree that Triple D's small pin, Stalker's kind of middle-sized pin, and then Cosmos big pin? Those three treads are the main treads you use.
Yeah,
so
it's for sure.
Triple D's, Stalkers, and Cosmos.
Yeah, if you don't have that much wear at the track you're at, I would definitely recommend you to try the teaser. I know Mayfield, those guys, they hate that tire. I don't really know. I understand
so it's a
why.
Really smaller than.
It's like
a
mini pin tire.
Okay.
But if you don't have any wear, I used them at Montpellier race. Then track changed again for the mains there, so I had to go to a different tire to get the speed. But normally the TC is the one that that will give you the most traction and most feeling with the car. But yeah, it's a very small pin tire, so yeah, Adrian says it's his tire. So this is the on-road tire. That's about the same.
Maybe then the opposite end of the spectrum, you have for highway, you can run the detox, right? And the detox just lasts a long time.
Yeah, it lasts forever. It's a very good tire as well. Even though the track might not be wearing tire as much, maybe it's gonna be polished. The detox is also a good tire. If it's clean in the line, it's gonna give you a lot of grip. So there are times, like for example, I ended up running those at Montpellier. That was my best. Yeah.
Which compound do you run?
That was in blue compound.
Okay.
But yeah, normally I was at the track in Seville, just north of here in Marbella, practicing, and during the end of the day, the track was really clean in the line. It was a very narrow line, but it got clean. I put out the detox and really good. So this tire, it looks kind of funny, but it actually works really well when the track is clean and you kind of have that polished surface.
So going from like the smallest pin to the biggest, or like from most wear to the least, would be teasers, triple Ds, stalkers,
reflex,
stalkers, Cosmos, detox.
I would say Cosmos has more wear than stalker though.
Cosmos has more wear.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the difference between stalkers and reflex? Because they're similar.
They drive really, really similar. I would say the feeling is just the same on those two tires. So like a reflex, if that is working at the track you're at, you can run that for qualifying or maybe even a semi. And then you don't have to be afraid of going stalker for a longer run like a main. They're gonna drive the same setup that's been same on my car. So
what's the difference? Like, why would you run one over?
Because it's just a taller pin, so it's less wear. I mean,
which one is taller?
Stalker.
Okay.
So reflex, if you're gonna compare to like AKA, is gonna be like double down and sips. If you're gonna compare to like a Pro Line, it's gonna be like reflex is fugitive light, and the Stalker is like a fugitive for us.
So the Stalker would work better in the dust than reflex.
Yeah.
And then Cosmos would be even better.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Okay. And for compounds.
And the one that like if you're gonna go to like an old school track, you know, where you have like use bow ties, I-beams, those kind of tires. You have the Chaser, the big Chaser. That's a very similar tire.
I don't even know what that one looks like.
It looks very similar to like a bow tie, I-beam, cross brace, kind of that thing.
Okay. And then compounds, you use green, super soft, blue, soft. Those are like the main compounds you use. And then you have a long wear one, R2.
Yeah.
Right? Do you ever use a harder than that, or those three?
Yeah, I've actually done that. Like last year when I won in Italy at the Italian job, I was even Y2. So that's our hardest
that's like
long wear compound.
Okay.
And that was because the Cosmo tire was the one that worked by far the best for me there. I ran R2 for most part of the race, but I knew because it was going to be a 60-minute main, there were like no chance those were going to be enough for 60 minutes. So I think I was on O2s in the semi. We saw the wear was decent, but it was going to be low in the end of the race.
Yeah.
So I glued up O2s and I had Y2s as well. And I told Dad, like, we go Y2, and if I don't feel well, I good on the warm-up, we'd switch to O2s before the start.
Yeah.
And he clicked up some warm-up laps of me driving with the Y2s, and it actually made me go faster, those tires, than the O2. So I just stayed with them. The wear was great for the main, no problems on the wear. I had still some threads on the front tires left when I came in after 60 minutes, and it made me go faster. So
which tread did you say?
Yeah. That was the Cosmos.
Cosmos, okay.
Yeah.
So Cosmos in Y2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Like sometimes I've had that happen. Like you go to our long wear compound works really good too as well, the new ones. So sometimes it even works better for you at the track. It's even faster because you kind of have more drive. I used in Philippines last year, they sugared the track. I used O2 detox for the main.
Okay.
They work great. So yeah, it happened
So
that
you
I
use
ran.
all the compounds basically.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Depending on
say
the
Italy
situation.
was the only race I used Y2 so far, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, O2 and R2 for sure. R2 is a really good compound, and if the tire wear, you can go for it with in the main. If it's on the limit, you can go to an O2.
Yeah. My sister was asking how Spain is. Spain is awesome. And then she says, can't hear you, by the way. So is the sound still okay? Can you hear us, or are we just wasting our time here? Where did everyone go?
I don't know.
No comments.
Maybe I'm boring.
Yeah, can you hear? So anyway, so the person who asked about the tires was asking about AKA also. So for AKA, I think the main treads that I use are gridiron, small pin, impact, medium pin, and then some tracks you would use an I-beam, or maybe city block front, I-beam rear for more steering. And then AKA also has double down. Some people like the double down. I don't really like it because it has, I feel like the double down doesn't
I love
have...
that tire.
You liked it?
I won the worlds with it.
Yeah, it's weird you did that. So I don't like the double down because it doesn't have side bite, I feel. And also, if you have a track where the groove is good grip and then you have dust outside the groove, I feel like the tire gets very loose when you go outside the groove. So that's why I don't like it. And actually, I could compare with J Concepts Detox. Detox was their like a long wear tire. When I tried that, it would still have traction in the dust. So the difference between driving in the groove and the dust wasn't as big. So the problem for me with the double down is it's good, and then you go in the dust and you lose traction a lot, where the J Concepts wouldn't do that. So that was a benefit with their kind of long wear tire. So,
and especially with the Detox, I feel every time I run the Detox, I can always go to a softer compound.
yeah.
So
Like AK, you can do that with an Enduro or a chain link. You can go one step softer than you normally would with a compound. So what was I going to say?
Adrian says it's for good drivers, that tire that you were talking
Yeah,
about.
it's for good drivers. Like double down is a tire that's for good drivers because you have to know what you're doing. You have to stay on the line and you have to drive the car precisely. So the margin for error is a lot smaller with that tire. So I don't really like it. But there are some track conditions where it's really good. So for example, if let's say on a normal kind of off-road track, if it's damp, cold, low tire wear, you run a gridiron. It's really fast, small pin, it's a good tire. Then if it's loamy or dusty or higher grip, you can run an impact, and it's very good. But then there's a situation where the track is smooth, packed, grooved, and the tire wear is a bit higher. And you can't run an impact because it's slow. So the pin is too big, it folds over, the car is kind of slow. That's when you would run a double down. So then the double down, because the pin is smaller than the impact but bigger than gridiron, the wear is good and it's still fast. So for example, Fall Brawl on the East Coast in North Carolina, that's the kind of track that the double down works on because it's a clean track, there's no dust, there's a groove, and the traction is consistent and good. That's where you would run a double down and it would be really good. And as for compounds, super soft and soft are the most common. And we've found lately that the long wear super soft is actually really good, especially there at Fall Brawl. So if you're in a situation where the traction is decent, tire wear is pretty average to high, and it gets cold or you're racing at night, then instead of running a super soft, you would run the long wear super soft. Soft compound would be too hard, so it doesn't have the grip, and super soft is too soft, so it wears out. So then long wear super soft in those conditions is very good. You have the grip and you have the life.
Can you take that again?
And what do you mean about the long wear super soft?
No, the whole thing I didn't understand.
You didn't understand? Okay, I'll take it. Okay. No, he's just messing with me. Fall Brawl kind of conditions, so it's a groove track, no dust, it gets cold. Normally you would run a soft or maybe a long way soft in the daytime. Same track, sun goes down, it gets cold. You don't run a super soft, you run the long way super soft. And you run a double down or a chain link or something like that. And yeah, those are really the tires we use. So gridiron, double down, impact. Yeah, that's about it, I think, for AK. And
My
I
mom
don't know.
and dad wants me to wave.
Oh, and your sister said a long time ago already go home.
Okay. Wow.
So
Yeah, she's down here with some friends.
yeah, so I don't know what that was about.
No, I don't know.
David, you have to go to Fall Raw, someone says.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Adrian doesn't like
Adrian,
impacts.
why doesn't Adrian like impacts? Impacts is like such a basic tire. What's Robert saying?
Yeah, what's the meaning with that?
Robert, what are you talking about? I
He's
suppose.
drunk.
Robert must be drunk because I haven't seen a single comment from
No,
Robert,
then
and now he's
He
commenting.
just checked in, and then I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Is he?
Oh,
He
he
must-
just checked
I-
in right there. You just
I know. I'm looking like what someone else commented.
Yeah.
Is it? Maybe Robert is like not happy with
Adrian.
not happy with AKA. What? He answered Adrian. Lol, I suppose. What did
I
Adrian
guess he
comment?
means, yeah, because he didn't like the impacts. I guess Robert means that he supposed he didn't like the impacts or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Okay, so Robert
didn't
didn't like
understand.
impacts either. So no one likes impacts, and that's like AKA's number one tire.
Yeah,
Holy shit, isn't it?
I guess. Yeah, that
You
was
like
the
double
one.
down?
That was the one they got the first worlds with, right?
Yeah.
I think so. But
I kind of like impact actually, but Cosmos, wouldn't you say Cosmos is similar?
yeah, it's very similar. I would
I
say
feel like
it's a bit more round
honestly,
the profile.
Yeah, when I compare the two, I feel like impact is a bit more edgy. Like it
I never
catches a bit
compared
more.
them to, so I don't know.
You've run both, you know.
Yeah, but I didn't compare them back to back because I've been.
Yeah, well I know, so I know.
Wow.
Is David going to run for JQ after the Worlds? Actually, he's not, but there was another question I forgot to ask you. What do you think about the JQ car?
JQ.
Not me, not the brand, the car itself. What do you think about it?
It's very similar
What,
to
have
like
you
a
driven it?
Kyosho, isn't it?
When did you last drive it? It's a long
I
time
know,
ago.
long time ago, many years ago.
You haven't driven the
It was
black,
probably
I think.
shipped by then.
No, you were faster than Testman. You remember that?
Well, obviously
It was
you
Chula
did.
Vista.
Yeah, it could be. That was many years ago.
This guy drove my car at Chula Vista, and he was faster than Testman. Yeah, true story. And I never fucking blogged about it. Can you believe that shit? Now on Facebook Live, many years later, I tell everyone. It was true. You remember?
Think he's watching?
I don't think Testman watches my
He
Facebook
don't
Live.
like you.
Maybe Gord doesn't like me. Ty is cool. Gord, he doesn't like me. So you said it's similar to Kyosho? Like, have you ever watched it or
Looks like a
something?
Kyosho.
Looks like Kyosho. That's a good thing, right?
I don't know.
It's not a
I don't know. It's a
Kyosho.
copy.
It's way faster than a Kyosho.
No, but by then, I mean, it was decent to drive. I don't know which edition that was. Probably
White.
I
think
don't know.
white.
I don't even know your colors.
White
Yellow,
edition.
white, whatever,
White.
gray.
Proves your shit, JQ. I know I'm shit. We already know this.
And one other thing is that, especially now, you know, when Quartz this year jumped on HP and he beats your ass again.
Did he beat me? Well, I couldn't get...
Yeah, but he was smoking
I wasn't
you.
allowed
He
to
was
race.
smoking you in
I wasn't-
qualifying. I don't care. He was
I wasn't
smoking you in
allowed to
qualifying.
race.
So that pretty much says, you know, that
You know what?
When he
Let me
wasn't-
tell you two things.
he was a
One.
Kyosho before, right?
One, the JQ is closer to the hot bodies than the Kyosho, I think, in my opinion.
You don't think you know. Because I
I
guess
know.
you have it in a
I
computer.
know. I know, okay? But listen, my car was done way before these fucking guys got their hot bodies done. Second thing, I had some major issues at DNC. I only got one qualifying round in. Now, I had no problem with Quartz. Quartz
He would
is
have
easy.
smoked you.
No
He was
way.
good that week.
In Truggy,
was
he would have
good.
smoked me.
He was
He
enjoying
good.
the race.
In Truggy,
He was
he
having
good.
fun in the
Where did
HP
he?
pits.
Where did he finish in buggy?
In buggy, Quartz.
Yeah,
He wasn't a B.
he finished in the B somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where, but it wasn't a B. Truggy made the main.
I know, qualified direct.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
pretty
HP,
impressive.
HP.
HP.
You know, coming from
HP for the
Kyosho,
win.
coming from Kyosho, not even able to beat you.
Didn't someone say that no one who leaves Kyosho does better?
Who was that? Paul
Paul
King?
King. No one that leaves Kyosho improves. Well, except this guy.
Yeah.
You can't win a race with your radio switched off. That's a good point. I didn't switch my own radio off. I switched someone else's radio off.
Even more stupid.
Oh my god. You've never done that? You've never switched someone's radio off?
No, but you should be worried next time.
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
Maybe it's me switching your radio off.
In Marbella. We go practice together. Ah, that's a good question actually. Oh, your dad says Paul King said that.
Yeah.
So now we have a good question. You need to help me, David. How can I improve as a driver? What do I need to do?
That's impossible.
That's it. Fuck. This guy's. I'm gonna steal his beer.
I can give you an easy.
Are you drinking your beer?
I can't show Dad that I'm drinking, you know.
Oh. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you have to choose either you want to design your car and make your product, or you're gonna be a driver. You can't be both.
Well, I was like a metaphor for everyone watching. So I said like, how can I improve? It's like, how can anyone improve? Is the question. So
Okay.
just okay, you're doing pretty well. You can make mains, but you're lacking something. Like, how do you get to that next level? What do you need to do?
I mean, I don't really remember something special that I did, except for I raced a lot, like growing up. I went abroad, Sweden, very early on. I think already it was in 2005 or 2006, which was my third year competing. I went abroad, Sweden. I went to the race in Belgium, indoor race in Belgium, I think it was. Toto Ricci won. But anyway, that was my first race abroad. We were like 3 Swedish guys, me, Christopher, and Rickard Helsten. Maybe you remember?
Yeah, I know.
We all made the main. And ever since that time, we tried to go to as many races we could, where I faced like very tough competition. And I think that's the best practice you can get. I mean, the best practice you get is at the races, not at the track, I would say, just running laps. But another thing is, when you are at the track, practicing only, like at your home track or whatever, what I did, I didn't really care too much about the setup. So I could basically just stand on the driver's stand driving the car for like 2 hours. Just turning laps.
Do you take lap times so you know what your lap times are, or do you just drive?
At that time, I guess for fun, but I basically just, because I heard Ty talking about this as well. He was saying, which was opposite of what I think you should do. He was saying you should work on your consistency first to be able to go consistent, and then you can start push and get the speed.
And you think you should get the fast lap time first?
I think it should be the other way around, because if you're fast, you can always step down, but if you're consistent, you can never, can never get that.
I kind of agree with that. You have to be able to match the fastest lap. Like, the first thing you should do is make sure you can match the fastest lap. Then you know you can do it. And then you kind of start building more consistency.
Because, I was pretty aggressive, and I mean, I was pretty heavy on the trigger. That was a long comment. I was pretty heavy on the trigger when I was young. I was always like fast on the outright lap times. And from there, I learned to be more consistent. I wouldn't still say I'm clean.
Right.
I still have things to improve. Adrian was happy with that round where I TQ'd at Neo Race, because that was like the first run I made 5-minute clean without crashes.
So that's actually, I have a question about that. So when you drive, let's say you are driving in qualifying and you're driving in the main. Do you drive the same way in qualifying and same way in the main? That's the first question. And second question, do you feel like you're driving at 100%, like as fast as you can? Or are you driving somehow in a kind of safe mode?
I mean, I would say I was always a better main driver than I was qualifying driver. I was really struggling before in qualifying. always make crashes, like mistakes. But I was always very strong, like both mentally and also my driving in the mains. Which I think I'm still today. I'm a better main driver than qualifying, even though I got better. But qualifying is for sure something I still can improve, especially the races in the US, where you have to qualify straight into the main, and the grid position is very important.
Yeah.
Here you still have the semi, where you can improve your starting position.
Yeah.
What did he say no to?
I don't know.
So yeah, I would say I don't think about that my driving is different from qualifying and main. I know one thing for sure is that we're always working for the main pace, setup, tires, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Adrian says I'm always 110%.
So,
or maybe I'm 111. Who knows?
So, wait, I was reading a comment.
Yeah,
I missed your
you have to
reply.
listen.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I would say I'm not thinking about driving different in qualifying and mains. I would say, out of my feeling, I'm always driving the same no matter what time I'm on the track.
And are you driving as fast as you can, or are you kind of playing it safe?
If I'm up there, I can step down. Normally, like me and Adrian are talking a little about you can push, like let's say a qualifier, you have 5 minutes, which is around 8 laps. You can push 3 laps, then you can have like a cool down lap where you can kind of take some more margins, everything like this. You can do another push in 2 laps.
Right.
But it's very hard to be like on the limit all the time. Then you'll crash.
So you're going as fast as you can, but not like on the very, very edge.
Yeah, that's what I would say. And another thing I've always felt and seen as well out of my results is that every time I'm in contention, I'm up there, I'm strong, I'm always driving better.
Your dad said that you're fast between the crashes.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like the more pressure, or like the more
So you drive
I
better,
am.
you concentrate more when you're pressured.
Yeah.
If someone's close to you, you drive better than if you had a big lead.
Like for example, yeah, exactly. So if I have a big lead, there towards the end in Vegas, for example, I had like 2-3 crashes towards like in the last 10 minutes, I would say.
Yeah.
So if I'm there, if I'm like around people, if I'm racing, I feel that I'm always stronger. I'm always racing better. I'm always driving better with less mistakes.
Does that mean that you're even more confident if you're racing someone than if you have a big lead?
I think as long as I know that not only my lap times, but at my pace, like I feel comfortable in qualifying. If I know that, I know I will have a shot in the main.
Yeah.
And that's basically the feeling.
Did they shut the music off? I think they're closing.
Yeah.
What time is it?
It's 10, always
11?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, one last question. One good question, and then we have to go, because this guy's going to throw us out, I think.
Yeah, that's another good thing.
In buggy, can't think too much. I mean, was it Savoy? I can't remember. What are they talking about? Hey, we need a good question, guys. High star Sisovas. Oh god. How many did you change during? You didn't change a single one because you broke one in the main, right?
It was the same.
Grommets.
It was the same radio tray I used in the Truggy at Nitrita.
Okay, there's a question. So why slow down your pace if you're way ahead and not crashing? Okay, that's a good last question. So it's like a mental thing somehow. Like you're doing good and you keep your pace, but then towards the end of the race something happens. It's normal in any kind of racing.
Yeah.
You should just keep going because everything's going well. But what happens?
I think that was pretty much what I was doing.
La cuenta, guys. Thank you very much.
Gracias.
That's on you.
That's on me again?
I can take that. But yeah, I think. What was the question?
No,
No,
at the
yeah,
end,
well,
why slow down?
yeah.
If you're doing good, why would you slow down in the very end? Like, it makes no sense.
No, but I mean, in the very end, if it's getting close, obviously you have a lot of pressure. You don't want to make any mistakes. Yeah, then you just take some more margins. Maybe you get out of the rhythm a little bit, even if you don't want to.
Right,
You
it just
always-
happens.
Yeah, it
It's
just
like
happens.
subconsciously.
Yeah, but for example, like Neo race now in the main, I had a good start. I was in the lead. I got a fairly big gap to Ongaro pretty early on. I would say around 7 seconds, and it felt everything felt really good. I felt like I had no problems at all. Like I was very safe, easy around the track. My car was easy to drive. So at that time, I was just like pulling away all the time. I would say I paced myself. You know, I could see, especially down on the left side, we kind of crossed each other. You know, when you made that hairpin. So every time we went there, I felt like I had a bit more space to him.
Yeah.
And that just kept me pushing myself to keep doing that. And then before, I think it was before the third pit, I had like 3 rough laps, and that was the time when I felt like the servo was going off.
Right. Yeah.
So you know, it kind of stopped, came back, which made me take some different lines outside in the dust. You know, I lost some ground. Ongaro was able to catch up. Then coming down from the middle of the concrete section one time, the car just came to a halt, but then like just 1 or 2 tenths after, it just picked up again. So I thought it was out of fuel, because I knew,
but then
that
it
was
kept
what
going.
Yeah, when that happened, I was like, yeah, shit, they called me in the early on the lap. So I came in and they weren't ready.
Yeah.
So I came in a lap too early. I already had like a 1 less pit stop than Robert and Ongaro, but that race I felt like I was I kept pushing myself to just keep on going, because I knew my pace was very good.
Yeah.
And if I was doing that for the first 30 minutes, I would say it would be very hard for them to catch me in the last half of the race, especially when the tires are low.
Yeah.
And I know normally this is the case with Ongaro. He always chooses a tire that's gonna be pretty on the limit, like towards the end of the race. So when I saw the catapult super soft, I knew if I
be slower at the end, or couldn't battle at least.
The track, it seems like the track or something got faster, because everybody picked up their pace in the end.
Yeah.
But like the lap times they did in the last 10, I already did that, like those kind of lap times in the first 20 laps.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would say regarding that question the guy had was, if you're racing someone, you don't slow down, even at the end of the race, because it's more natural, because your brain is still like racing the other person.
But if you have a gap,
because when you go fast, you're always risking a bit, right? So then you kind of feel like, I have a big lead, I don't want to blow it.
Yeah.
So subconsciously you slow down a bit. Even if you try to go, you're like, it's probably almost impossible to keep on going, because there's no one there. You have a big gap.
Yeah.
But the problem with off-road is the way the cars work is the suspension works a lot with throttle input. So depending on how hard you're on the gas and when you get on the gas, the suspension will act different. So let's say there's some bumpy section, and when you go through it really fast on the throttle, the suspension handles it well. But then when you start to save, like, oh, I'm going to be safe through here, then it doesn't work anymore. So, you know, the car doesn't actually physically work as good when you're trying to drive safe. So that's a problem we have in 8-scale off-road, I feel, where when you get a good rhythm and you're even aggressive on the throttle, the car actually might work better for you. So then when you try and do it safe, then it starts, you find the bumps on the track, and it just doesn't corner as smooth. And
for sure that's I can relate that to the last corner in Vegas as well.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
you go on
if
the
you
paving,
probably had been punched like you normally were,
you go on the
would have
paving,
just gone over it.
You had that kind of bump going out of the paving up the hill, and normally I just punch it straight through. I kind of pop over there and just go over the table. This time I played it safe. You know, I rolled it. The car got on out of shape, and I hit the pipe, and I got stuck on the pipe. So
Degani is saying, what the hell do you know about being in the lead? Hey, Degani, it's when I'm back in Finland or Asia or something, you know, where I'm a hero. That's what I know. And it's almost like you have to go your fast pace, or you have to slow down a lot. Like, you can't just slow down a bit, you have to slow down a lot.
Yeah.
So those are the choices. Okay, so these guys are throwing us out, so we have to go. That was a good last question. Liam, you have to fucking end this thing now. We're done. Quartz, you're done. Just like in Santa Barbara. You know, I went to race Quartz, Santa Barbara.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
He smoked you?
No, it fucking broke first lap. Funniest shit ever. And you know what? It was so funny. On the driver's stand, the guy is like, hey, see you next race. You know, because Quartz always breaks, right? see you next race, and then we go down after the race, court to the left.
So this is all I think.
Yeah. So if you ever race courts, just go on the driver's stand and before the main, just tell him, see you next race, because he's going to break, he's going to leave before the main is over. So anyway, I saw an e-buggy over there. What did the guy say? First corner. Yeah, first corner, hey bro. E-buggy. Good night, guys. So yeah,
right.
So we're going to be here in Spain now. David's going to teach me how to race, how to drive, hopefully. I'm going to be a bit faster, I'll make some mains. And
we'll see.
he says it's impossible though. He says I suck too bad, but I'm going to try.
Yeah, you need a better car.
What's that? Oh, I need a better car? Oh my God, this tough crowd. He had to pick his trophy home. What's that?
I don't understand.
13. About courts or something, I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
You're
yeah,
too
yeah,
old.
yeah.
No, I'm not too old, Dingani. Okay, see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.